on this, like you mentioned accidents, right? And the reason you got the name Honey Badger was because you were in a race and you had a terrible accident.
Well, fortunately, it was not super terrible. It was unpleasant, but I was doing an Ironman in North Carolina, and I unfortunately, people who do triathlons spend too much time looking at their sports watches, checking their heart rates and speed and stuff like that, which I've actually given up on doing now. So I wised up after that incident. So I was doing that, and I didn't see that a cone had fallen over on the road, and I crashed full speed into it and just flew off the bike. And I broke a few ribs, but I was in the middle of the race, and it was an expensive race, and so forth. And I wasn't totally sure that I broke my ribs, but it did feel like it. And so I just took 4 ibuprofen, hopped back on the bike, and finished the bike, which is another 100 miles. And then I ran a marathon.
Right.
You have to do a marathon. And then I checked into the emergency room, and yes, indeed, I had broken ribs. And it was definitely hell the next day. It was like the most painful drive ever back home from North Carolina back to here. Which only shows that when you have a lot of adrenaline in the system, right, you can do things that normally you definitely wouldn't think would be wise. But broken ribs, so it was pretty unpleasant. But broken ribs are probably about the mildest thing where you can still then do something, right? As opposed to like a bone poking out of your shoulder.
Right.
At some point, that's it. You're kind of done. Although I've known people who've done that. They've had bones, but they'll still finish, right? Even if something like that happens. So, and so the honey badger came from. Again, this is a meme that is long forgotten probably by now, but in about 2012 when I did that race, there was this thing on YouTube where a honey badger was fighting with a cobra and then got bitten and looked like it died, but then it got up again later on and jumped after the cobra and ate the cobra. And so I had that bike accident, and then like a couple of weeks later I went to give a lecture in Vietnam, and I ate some cobra. Like somebody actually sliced the cobra open and gave me the beating heart, and I ate it. And there's a photo that my friend saw, and so they knew that happened, and they knew this, and so they went, okay, gets up after crashing, finishes, eats cobras, the honey badger, which was a more flattering nickname than the previous one. So it replaced.
Which was?
Actually, I'm trying to remember now. I guess I've suppressed it from my mind. But there is a TV show, which again you might not remember, called Futurama, which was done by the same person, Matt Groening, who did The Simpsons. And in it was an alien creature the nibbler, that's what it was. It was an alien creature would eat anything in sight, in near infinite quantities. And I have a large food capacity. I was actually, when I was like in grad school, I participated in these, eating competitions, like how fast can you. And it was kind of fun because I'm like skinny looking guy. Those are the dangerous guys in those competitions. Then it would be like these burly, big guys, and they were like, right. You're kidding me. But by the 6th or 7th calzone, each one of them being like this big, they're like, okay, I'm done. Yeah. I'm like, no problem, I can put them no matter what.
Did you win? Did you win ever?
Oh yeah, I won. Yeah.
First place?
Often, yes.
Oh,
so
wow.
you have to, I mean, these were like local competitions, nothing
right,
or anything like that. Like in Pasadena at the local, all you can eat calzone restaurant or something like that. But yeah, so, but it's interesting because, people who meet skinny-looking people think that that person can't eat anything. But then you find out otherwise when it comes to the test. So you have to. It's the stomach volume expandability that's the key in eating contests, right? Not your like overall body size. It's like like a snake, right? If a snake eats a large animal, it's like it forms a bump. It can expand, and so again, some human stomachs have more of that capacity than others. And again, I'm sure it's a combination of both training as well as, just some natural phenomena of how your connective tissue in your stomach wall is put together, right? That might be genetic again, again, that nature versus nurture thing. So this was one of the totally useless things that I was good at. I don't do it anymore. I mean, as you get older, you pay a real price in terms of when you eat like huge amounts of fatty food or whatever, you're like toast. After that for like a day, right? My body temperature actually goes up and I feel really drowsy for like hours and hours, and so I don't do it anymore.
Your heart rate goes up.
Yeah,